I'm gonna tell you something about English people. There are 10. First, English people are punctual. Being late is odd and in some cases considered to be rude. So if you're gonna be late something, you should immediately contact the person involved. Second, never jump lines known as queues. In some other countries, maybe jumping queues is acceptable, but in England, people may not be very happy. Third, in England, it is acceptable to keep one arm's length between you and the person you're speaking with, because any closer is considered aggressive and is uncomfortable. Fourth, please, thank you, and sorry are normal parts of everyday conversation and interaction. Some people are baffled on how polite the English are. Fifth, when greeting a good friend or a family member in England, you don't simply shake their hands. Frequently, you will give and or receive a kiss on the cheek. Sixth, the English have high amount of respect for older adult and the disabled. If you are in a public transportation and you see an older adult or a disabled, you are expected to give up your seat if there are no other seats available. And if you see some older adult or disabled struggling with something, you are expected to ask them if they need your assistance. 7. English people rarely use superlatives and are not very animated when they speak. They value privacy over everything else. So be careful what you ask for because you might be prying without meaning to. 8. The English often avoid extended eye contact. They find it uncomfortable and intimidating. 9. If you were invited to the home of a native Englander, you should bring along with you a gift such as chocolate, wine, or flowers to say thank you. And the 10th, the person who invited you to a dinner is typically the one who pays. Do not argue whose responsibility it is. Rather, invite them to dinner sometime and pay for them to reciprocate. Now let's hear something from my friend.
Something funny in the Yorkshire area, and kind of in the general England Leeds mission is they'll call you. They have kind of like pet names, like they'll call you Love or Pet or Flower, and there's a few other ones and when you're walking down the street, and it took me a while to kind of pick this up. For the first little while, I kept going around saying, like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And they don't really say that. When you're in the street and you're greeting someone, it's, "Hi, are you alright?" Or, "You alright, love?" And so you kind of start picking that up, and you just try to join in.
Some do's and don'ts. Pants. There's also some words there that you shouldn't say. There are swear words there. So I guess I can say them now. Bloody, bugger. Don't say those. Those are very bad.
That's all. Hope you appreciated the English culture. Bye.
Hi, Regine here, and I'm about to show you the Japanese culture, all about their values, their communication style, and their religion. So let's go. Japanese culture is kind of famous in the world, along with Japanese cartoons and Japanese TV shows. We often see how they communicate. These are just basic. There are more ways of how they communicate in a workplace. I'm gonna tell you about their communication styles. When you greet your Japanese counterpart, make sure you bow to them. Always be on time for any meetings. Punctuality is a very important part of Japanese business etiquette. Wait to be seated when the meeting starts. Seating is determined by one's status within the company. Never raise your voice or speak with excessive hand gestures during a business meeting. Gifts or tokens may be presented during a meeting. It is highly ritualistic and meaningful. Frowning while someone is speaking is interpreted as a sign of disagreement. Most Japanese maintain an impassive expression when speaking. Japanese business cards are very important aspects of Japanese business etiquette. Exchanging business cards is without a doubt a standard protocol in Japanese business culture, regardless of the occasion. It is a part of a formal introduction, and business cannot start until the process is complete. Generally, if your Japanese counterpart responds to your request with, "I will have to see," or "I will consider it," they are saying no. Be very keen to similar forms of communication. Dress code and appearance hold a very high value in Japanese society. The Japanese frequently dress very formal, and one's attire is often linked to their social and corporate status. The rule of thumb is to always play it safe and dress formally. Use darker colors such as black or dark blue. For the values, we all know that Japanese are industrious and punctual people, but there's more to that. There are strict rules regarding indoor manners in Japan which are related to footwear. Shoes are removed not only in the home, but also in many traditional ryokan, Japanese style inns, some restaurants, temples, castles, and other historic buildings. The border is not the door itself, but the entrance area, which is called genkin, and shoes should be always pointed toward the door rather than into the building. Lastly, we now go to their religion. Shinto is as old as the Japanese culture, while Buddhism was important from the mainland in the 6th century. Since then, the two religions have been coexisting relatively harmoniously and even complemented each other to a certain degree. Religion does not play a big role in the everyday life of most Japanese people today. The average person typically follows the religious rituals at ceremonies like births, weddings, and funerals. They may visit a shrine or temple at New Year and participate in local festivals or matsuri, most of which have a religious background.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm here to talk about the potential conflict between the British and the Japanese people, and I'm here to talk about the British side first. So, a handshake, that's how they do their greetings. They like a very firm handshake because it shows how comfortable you are with yourself, how confident you are in yourself, and how trustworthy you are. I guess for Asians, that's a little bit not normal for us because we're very soft. And second of all would be the eye contact. While doing your handshake, that's okay. Maintain a little eye contact, but prolonged, no. They feel very uncomfortable. It's like way too personal for them. And third of all, building a relationship in the working environment for a younger generation of the British, it's totally normal not having a long relationship with this other person or other company to work with them. But for the older generation, this could be hard because they need a pretty long relationship with this other person or other company, meaning they have to know one another since way before. Fourth of all, the way they talk, there's a different way. There's the British one, the younger one, and the older one. The younger one, they would like very direct. This came out very rude. They would say, "No, I don't want that." But for like yes, they were just like, "Yeah, I want that. I want that to work," or "No, I don't want that to work." But the older generation, they would say like a very complicated way of saying stuff. Like if they don't want something, they would somehow make it very high contacts, you know. And then the last but not least, when they're doing their meetings, they want everything on the agenda and they want everything to follow on the agenda. But they would make a small talk before they're like get into the business. And while they're doing their meeting, like the presentation and stuff, they would do eye contact with several people, and but still giving some few fit with another, giving some personal spaces with each other. So, oh yeah, and another thing, like there is a business dinner. Those business dinner, whoever invited you to that business dinner, they have to pay for you. Unlike us Asians, they would make the older one pay for whatever. Like, if you guys are eating out, the older one has to pay one. And other thing, the way they treated one another is the same. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, they treated one another with respect. Like they're in the same class, the same rank. Different from the Asians, we would see, like, if you're older, I'm gonna give you a lot more respect. If you're younger than me, I could talk to you in a very informal way, I guess. So I guess that's all for the British side. And thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm Rex, and I am going to be talking about the potential conflicts between the Japanese and the British. I am going to be explaining at the Japanese side. First of all is the religion. They don't have churches, priests, altar servers, communion, holy water, etc. But they do have is temples, sage, I think, monks, and etc. They're very religious when it comes to thanking, um, praying for someone sick, etc. Moving on to values. When it comes to Japanese values, it's pretty much strict when it's eating, going to another person's house, even when greeting someone. First of all, when you're greeting someone, they don't shake hands, they bow down as a sign of respect, especially for the elders. Um, Second of all, when it comes to coming to another person's home, like a friend's home or someone else's homes, you need to leave your shoes, sneakers, sandals, boots, and before entering the person's house. And third of all, when eating, Japanese people don't use spoon, forks, knives, but they use chopsticks. When it comes to communication, Japanese people aren't really fluent in English. I have a friend. He's not really fluent in speaking English, but he's trying. I don't think that they're applying English to in Japan, so that's the that's the reason why they're not really fluent at it. And when it comes to communication, they're really nice. They're really nice. They're approachable, and yeah. So that's all. I just did the summary. I'm Rex. Thank.
Here are some of the recommended strategies to prevent those types of conflict. First, acknowledge the differences. Encourage the team, the key players, to identify where they might have cultural and personal differences. Again, remember to identify the differences to prevent those types of conflicts. Next, find the similarities. Establish what is common both in terms of organizational culture and personal preferences. This will help them immensely in forming what kind of dialogue they will be successful in. Then, clarify the vision. What is the project meant to achieve? What is the goal? Discuss this question among the group. Your goal is to establish that the joint venture has a single mindset to achieve a certain goal.
Hi guys!
Today, I will continue the recommended strategies for bridging the differences and avoiding conflicts. First is to identify the interdependencies. Where are the culture really going to rely on each other's performance? Next is to get the right leadership style in place. A collaborative mindset is a fundamental requirement. Next is to find the intrinsic motivator of the team. What is it that excites each individual that will motivate him or her to make the project work? Next is to take regular feedback and act on any early interpersonal issues that may arise. Lastly, you should align everyone involved in the project goal. This requires strong induction process. This is not just a senior project team, but everyone who works. So those are my 5 recommended strategies to bridge the differences and avoid the conflict. I hope you learned something from us. Thank you.